Step one in chaining up, if you have your tow hook sling on the driver's side of the truck, you have to move the tow hook sling out of the way so you can access the chains. I recommend hanging it on the driver's step so that you don't forget it and drive the truck away without it. If your chains are hung neatly on the hanger, like these are, it'll be very easy to find the center link and the hook on the center link and lift these chains neatly off the rack. One link at a time. You have a center link, a center rail, and then two outside rails. Okay, it's very important that you not lose a hold of the center rail. Once you have the chains off the rack, you need to find which end has the boomers. See, there's the boomers there. And you want to not run over the boomers when you move the truck. So we're going to drive the truck forward to install the chains. So we want these boomers to be on the back side of the tire, not the front side. So now that you've turned that around so the boomers are correct, you hold the chains by the center rail with your hands a certain distance apart. Everybody's got their own style. You might find you want them a little bit further apart than this, or maybe, well, probably not any closer. Now, the motion of throwing the chains onto the tire is a lift and thrust motion, like this. Now, the center rail is over the tire, and the chains are not going to fall off from this position. So you grab that center rail here at the back, and you toss it over, so now that center rail is fully in between the duals. You do the same here at the front. So now everything's neat and tidy. We want to throw the chains over the second tire. So I toss the bottom half of the far side over the first tire, and I do the same on this side. And then I grab the center rail, and it's the same thrust motion. And again, we take that rail, now is the inside rail, we toss it over, and we make sure that everything is neat under here. Sometimes these chains do get a little bit tangled up when we hang them. We have to be very careful how we hang them. So you got to figure out how to get them to hang here properly. So now we've got everything in here neat. We want to make sure that these are outside and on the far side, inside the tire, so we don't run over them. But we're going to drive forward over the chains, so there's almost no chance that we will run over them. We do the same thing in the front here. We find that inside rail and we toss it over the other side of the truck. Now, if we're in a situation where we can't move the truck, we're going to have to hook these, the ends of the chains together without the luxury of being able to move the truck. So in order to accomplish that, it requires getting down inside and underneath the truck to try to get the ends together. So here on the outside, it's simple because you can see there's plenty of slack and you can just lock them together. And this is basically the same as what I will do on the other side of the truck. Only on the other side of the truck, we don't have as easy an access. So for the other side of the truck, I'm going to have to get underneath on my back. And in the dark, this can be challenging. So I have flashlights that'll help. Lots of us use a headlamp. It's daylight today and I don't need it. I have another little flashlight. You will find things that work for you. If you have to chain up without the luxury of being able to move the truck, we just hook the ends together on the outside to show you how it was done. In order to accomplish hooking the center rail together, we use a bungee cord. So you grab the tail of the center rail and you put a bungee on it, and then you feed that bungee between the wheels until you can reach it from the other side. And then you go to the other side. And you pull that bungee through until you can reach the tail. You can't see on the video, but I've got the tail in my hand. And I'm going to find the hook on the center rail. It's right there. And then I'm going to hook the center rail together. And now we're going to move on to the inside rail. To hook up the center rail, you have to find the center rail, the tail end of the center rail. And by hand, you just push it as far that way as you can. And then you get out and you come in between the duals. And I prefer to do it on my back. You unhook the boomer, and just like we did on the other side, you feed it through the link and secure it with the lock link. Now, these tires are going to move with the chains when we put the truck in gear. If you've had to chain up without moving the truck, once you've got all the rails hooked together, move the truck just far enough that you can hook the chains up properly and do them up tight. Don't try to climb a hill this way. Don't try to drive out of the parking lot this way. Just move the truck so that you can hook the chains up properly. In the previous video, I talked about tucking the chains in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so right now we're at the spot where we're going to move the truck forward. So,
Okay, so everything is tucked and ready?
I'll double check it. Yeah. If you want to open the window here, Ormond,
Okay.
on this side. Are you recording? We're at the part of the procedure now where we're going to move the truck forward. Ormond is going to get in the truck and he's going to roll this the truck forward far enough that we can hook the chains up properly.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
We've tucked the tails of the chains to the outside and on the inside, far to the inside. So when we run over them, we're not doing any damage to them, and they're accessible when the chains come all the way around.
Are you ready?
Ready? Good. So you can see our center hook is right there. Our inside boomer is right there, and our outside boomer is right here. Now, the truck is stopped, the brakes are applied, now it's safe to go under here. I'm going to start by hooking up the center rail, not too tight, but not too loose. So you don't have to do these up as tight as you can in the center. You just have to do them up so that they don't fall off. You find the link you want, and you make it the highest link. And then you grab the hook and easily hook them together. If you have to struggle to get that, just go back one link. And then I do up the inside link. So we're going to grab the tail of the inside rail, and we're going to pull it up. You can be rough with the chains, and you want to get as much slack out of these as you can.
It means pushing
So
these.
if you can get the boomer in the hook, in the link, you're going to be able to do the boomer up. But that's fairly loose. I'm going to try to get one more link. You should struggle a little to get this done up if you're going to have your chains on reasonably tight. You'll see this better when I hook up the outside rail. But you can see I've got the boomer through the link, and I'm just going to pull this boomer until I can get it to the lock link, and then just drop that lock link over the boomer. So the inside is now secure and the center is secure. Now we move to the outside. You try to get as much of that slack out as you can from the top and the bottom. And whatever link I think I can get, you can see there's lots of links here, right? I'm going to be able to get that one pretty easy. So I'm going to try the next one. And if you can get it in, you can get it done up. You just have to ask yourself, how hard do you want to struggle? Okay, I can work at this one, or I can go to the next one down. You put the link, the boomer through the link, and you're pointing towards the center of the tire when you do that. And then just slide that link up, use the boomer as a lever, and get a little bit more and a little bit more until it drops all the way in. And then you take the lock link and tighten that boomer up until you can drop the lock link. Now your chains are secure. They're not super tight. If you want them tighter, move the truck one full rotation and you'll be able to get another link on the inside and the outside. And then you'll be ready to climb a hill. Once you've gotten to the top of the hill, or to the place where you no longer need your chains, you need to stop the truck in a position where you have access to your hooks and boomers. And then the process of taking off your chains is actually very quick and very simple. I always start and undo the outside rail. Trying not to let these chains get tangled up, because then you need a hammer sometimes to fix them. So you undo that, and then I undo the center rail, the center hook. And then I undo the boomer on the inside, which looks the same as undoing the one on the outside. Now, don't let go of that outside rail, or that inside rail. Okay, pull it across the truck, across the tires, until you can get the center rail. Remember I said earlier, the center rail is the one you need to always have control of. So just pull those chains and grab the center rail and lay them on the ground. Now we're going to move the truck. I always move the truck backwards if I can, because then I've lined the hanger up with the chains, and I don't have to drag the chains all a long way. Once the brakes are applied, you're going to grab the center rail of your chains and prepare to hang your chains on the rack. Lomac has two different styles of racks. This single rail style is, in my opinion, easiest on the back. You grab that center rail and you just walk yourself down to the tail end. And I always begin hanging my chains by the tail end. Just put that over the rail, and then this next gap, put that over the rail, and the next one. And then I skip a few. It doesn't really matter how many. 3 or 4. then when I get back down to the end, I want to do the last 3 again. This way your chains end up neat and secure. You need to remember to hook your boomers back on their lock link. All summer long, or any time in the winter, these are going to dangle, dangle, dangle until they wear out and the boomer will fall right off. But if you hook that on your lock link, that'll never happen. So once you have secured your chains, most of us use a bungee cord one way or another just to keep those chains from sliding this way and potentially jumping off the rail. When we first started the procedure, we took the tow hook off the rack and we put it here at the driver's door so that when you move the truck, you would not forget to re-secure this. So when you're finished your procedure, the last thing you want to do is to make sure you pull this back off the steps and put it back on the rack. And these dangle a long way, so you can hang them on the rack as well.